What's going on? We back. More City Sports Talk. We in the building. We reached 1,000 subscribers. I definitely appreciate everybody that did subscribe. Everybody that's hating in the comment section, what up, though? We back. Talking some real trill Detroit sports talk. And check the links in the description. On the files on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Those options are in the description. Talking about Marvin Jones. Did he exceed or did he live up to your expectations, or did he fall short of your expectations? Since he's been with the Detroit Lions, it's been a few seasons now, and I told people that Marvin Jones was a good receiver. People came up with all types of lies. Oh, he's the short receiver. He's, he ain't this, he ain't that. I told him, I'm like, the dude is 6'2", man. A lot of people wanted him to come in, or whoever to come in, to be a 6'5" receiver who ran a 4.3, who can run the complete route tree and catch the ball and be Megatron. That wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to find a Megatron. I heard people say, we need a jump ball receiver and this and that. I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't have a jump ball receiver. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't have that, But Antonio Brown was exactly what they needed, When Martavis Bryant played, Juju Smith-Jr., that was exactly what you need. You don't need a jump ball receiver to be successful in the NFL as a team. But Marvin Jones, he's definitely exceeded my expectations, and I had pretty high expectations for him, because I was familiar with what Cincinnati was doing over there. I remember the year before he got hurt. I mean, he had one of the best drop percentages in the league. He didn't drop much. He caught a lot of balls. He was that guy before Mohamed Sanu stepped in while he was injured, and he balled out. He sure did ball out, and at the end of the day, he most definitely did exceed expectations. He did, man. I mean, not only did he show Detroit that, he was 6'2" or 6'3", whatever he is, but he can run. And I told guys he ran in the 4.4s. And the only adjustment that he legitimately had to make with the Detroit Lions was the velocity and the speed of the ball that Matthew Stafford let it go with. Because Andy Dalton didn't throw half as hard as what Matthew Stafford throws. Then he had some drops, but he had to get used to the velocity. He came from Cincinnati where his quarterback had a water pistol as an arm. And that velocity was something different, man. He talked about how Stafford breaks these guys' fingers. I believe Stafford has the strongest arm in the NFL, and that's just my opinion. But Marvin Jones most definitely came here, and I can't. A lot of people ate crow, but a lot of people not going to admit that. They're going to act like they was on the Marvin Jones bandwagon. I remember being on the M Live or the Detroit newspaper and Freak Thread telling people that Marvin Jones was a good signing. And he basically got a deal for a receiver that was a hit, that was a diamond in the rough, because he didn't get the opportunities. Because Cincinnati, for one, especially the year he came back after the injury, they were a primary running team. And A.J. Green and Tyler Eifert, when he was healthy, they took a majority of the receptions. And then Mohamed Sanu had stepped in and became that slot secondary receiver. And Marvin Jones had to get in where he fit in. People were saying, Will, he didn't have his numbers. I say he was coming off injury, and he was legitimately the fifth option on that team. And, they got it right by picking him up and being a receiver. He's been everything and more, and then improving. Last season, he worked with Randy Moss. He had a slow start, but he had a murderous row of cornerbacks he went up against in the first few weeks. And he still, made some of the best plays. NFL Network, he had the best catch of the year when the Vikings had 12 men on the field, and he caught the ball over Terrence Newman and somebody else. He's a freak. Remember the over-the-shoulder pass he burnt Josh Norman on a couple years ago against the Redskins down the middle of the field? He's made big plays. He's fixed the drop stuff as well, too. And Marvin Jones has definitely exceeded my expectations. My expectations was high for him because I knew what he was capable of. I knew his athletic ability. I knew his potential. I said, man, if this dude can get in a pass-happy offense, this is a good fit for the Lions. And ultimately, I was right. And he's been a good character guy. Him and his wife, I believe, opened up a cake shop in Troy. I can't remember the name of it. But this dude is phenomenal, man. He don't get no off-the-field issues. No Titus Young here. None at all. And this dude is legitimately came here, been a good soldier, been a good citizen, and a nice guy. And he came here and balled out. His next contract, he don't get paid, man. He don't get paid. Him and Stafford has come with a different connection. A good connection. They vibing together. They riding together. And not only just that, people act like without Calvin, the Lions weren't going to function. It's the same thing I'm telling them about the Pistons with Drummond and Griffin and those guys. I said about Ndamukong Suh, Calvin as well, too. and Stafford as well too. I knew Stafford wasn't going nowhere. I said this. I told anybody that will listen. I said, you're not winning with them. So what's the fear without having them on the team? All that cap space you got, you're gonna be able to bring players to fill those positions and really have a plethora of players that really can handle the job. But nobody will listen. Oh, Stafford gonna be done without Calvin. You know, he ain't this, he ain't that. Without Calvin Lyons and this, and Marvin Jones step in and Calvin leave out and Stafford don't miss a beat. You got to get credit because Marvin Jones had big shoes to fill. And I'm saying he filled the Calvin Johnson shoes by himself, but it's been filled and it's really been not too much else to be desired. So let me know what y'all think about what Marvin Jones has done so far. Motor City Sports Talk. I appreciate the 1,000 subscribers, dog. I'm definitely blessed to have those. I want to continue to bring some Detroit sports and Detroit news to you guys on YouTube. We gone.